A ribbon of sugarcane, late afternoon heat, a little shack with a tin roof where wind moves through the stalks. For 36 years, Lucy has lived here, not by complaint, but because the work she did mattered more than what the walls were made of. To those children she raised as if they were her own, she was more than a helper. She was family. One of those children is DJ Blondie.
Tonight, Blondie is planning something quiet, something enormous, something meant to say the thing words rarely hold. Thank you.
Blondie grew up with Lucy's hands in every season of life, mending a scraped knee, a plate warmed on the stove, a listening presence when everything else was loud. Years later, while Blondie was building a life and a career, Lucy's shack remained the same. Patched boards, a roof that rattled in storms, no real windows that closed, no proper plumbing. She never asked for more, Blondie thinks, but she deserves so much more.
So Blondie calls a group of friends and family and says simply, "We're renovating Lucy's place." The phrase sounds small on the phone, but the plan is anything but.
There is a funny kind of pressure in doing something for someone who never wanted anything. The team begins with sketches on a picnic table, a sturdy foundation, a kitchen where Lucy can stand unhindered, a real door with a lock that feels like safety. Blondie insists on green, Lucy's favorite color, a green that reads like new leaves after rain. They talk about tiles that won't crack in heat, light fixtures to chase away the long dusk, and a pump so water comes when you turn a tap, not when the sky decides. Planning is part logistics and part love. Builders measure and smile. A volunteer organizes donated appliances. An electrician draws his lines with quiet concentration. At one point, a volunteer says, half joking, half sincere, "We're building dignity." Blondie answers, "Not building, it's restoring what was always hers." Lucy visits once, under the pretense of running an errand, and stands at the edge of the cleared lot with her hands folded, eyes tracing scaffolding as if it's a dream that will not quite land. Her breath fogs in the morning air, and she says, the way people do when they try not to be greedy for good things, "This is unnecessary." Blondie leans close and says, quietly, "It's for you." For 2 months, hammers sing and trucks hum. There are small hiccups, a delayed tile shipment, a rainy week that makes the floor muddy, and 1,000 tiny wins. A window installed, an outlet that works, a small bench soldered to the kitchen wall just so Lucy can sit while she cooks. The team adds a porch where Lucy can watch dawn over cane fields. They add a little pantry for spices she uses without measuring, and they bring in a water pump so she will not fetch buckets across sun-baked paths. On reveal day, the whole neighborhood gathers, not in any official way, but with folding chairs and soft smiles. Blondie arrives with a group at the gate and says to the little children gathered, "We're bringing Lucy home." They march in, a slow, careful procession, and Blondie opens the door. The air inside is cooler than the world outside. Lucy steps in, and the expression on her face makes even hardened volunteers catch their breath. Surprise, disbelief, an aching relief that looks like joy. She moves through the rooms, fingers hovering over new counters, over the sink that runs, over the light switch that hums to life. "For me?" she asks, voice breaking. Blondie kneels and says, "For all you did for us." Let the reaction land. Then Lucy sees a small bundle squirming in Blondie's arms, a puppy whose fur is a warm golden that mirrors Blondie's nickname. Lucy laughs, a little wild with delight, and hugs the pup to her chest. She announces the name before anyone else can speak. "Blondie!" The laugh becomes a small, whole sound that belongs to her alone. In the days after, Lucy's life becomes steadier in ways simple and profound. The kitchen's light stays on in evening.
The porch holds a radio and a cup that no longer cracks with heat. The little dog walks beside her into the cane fields. Blondie drops by with a basket of groceries and sits with Lucy on the new bench while they peel plantains and talk about nothing and everything. The house becomes a place that people come to, not out of obligation, but because there is warmth there. Neighbors bring flowers, someone plants a little herb garden, and friends set up a small plaque by the door that reads simply, "For Lucy, with love." The community circulates photos, and a few viewers online say, "Your heart is so amazing." But the real changes are private. Lucy sleeps without the worry of a leaking roof. She boils water without a kettle balanced precariously, and she has a corner for her radio where the station plays the songs she loves. For Blondie, the gift returns more than gratitude. It reconnects her to the woman who taught her how to show up. She watches Lucy in the evenings with the dog curled at her feet and knows the work was never about expense. It was about recognition, telling a life of quiet labor that it mattered. At night, Lucy sits on the porch and watches Kane whisper in the dark. She reaches down and pets Blondie the dog, fingers tracing soft fur, and she thinks of the children she raised, grown, scattered, loved. The house is green and bright, but it is also a signal, a whole life honored in 3 rooms and a pump that runs. It will stand long after this story's telling, a small monument to steadiness and to the way love is repaid, not in coins, but in care. And so the camera pulls slowly away from Lucy's porch at dusk, from her hand resting on a warm bowl, from Blondie sleeping by her feet. The wind moves through the cane. The green of the house glows faintly. A life once lived in service now lives in safety and dignity. The gift was simple and complete, the return of a love that had no ledger.